everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to film a little mani with me. Nothing crazy, I am just due for a manicure. I recently chopped all of my nails off, and whenever they're short I find that they become weaker, more brittle. They are so prone to splitting, cracking, chipping. It's so frustrating. Peeling, did I say peeling? That's like the main concern for me. When they're short and I'm not really looking to grow them, I usually opt out of a gel manicure, so I just use regular polish. Unfortunately, regular polish, as we all know, doesn't last as long as gel does. So as it begins to chip, especially around the edges, those nails start to peel and just completely fall apart. So I'm dealing with a little bit of peeling and splitting right now. I just cleaned up my nails. I buffed them down a little bit. So at the moment they're pretty smooth. My thumb is probably the worst case scenario here, but I'm going to try a couple of new products today. This entire manicure is going to be done with Nail Aid products. You know I love the Biotin Ultimate Strength, and as much as I love it, I feel like I need to branch out a little bit and try some of their other products because I'm sure they're just as good, if not better. Maybe. That'd be pretty cool. So today I'm going to use polishes from their Vegan Pure line. I'm going to start with a coat of the Collagen Instantly Strong base. This is a multi-plant collagen protein. It ends peeling, which we need, flaking, which I also need, for ultra strong nails in just 3 days. It has an extra hard, shiny finish. So I'm guessing you can use this as a top coat as well, but today we're going to apply it as a base coat. It's a 20-free, clean formula. It's cruelty-free, 100% vegan. It's plant-based, non-toxic, has real results. It's fast-acting, easy to use, and it's made in the US of A. God bless America. I love that. So we're gonna start with this as a base. Then moving into color, I'm gonna use one of the Vegan Pure polishes. This actually claims to be a 16-day wear formula. This is in the color Beach Nap. It's a beautiful baby blue. It's gorgeous. My husband and I were in Rhode Island the past few days. We actually came home for a few days and then we're going back to Rhode Island tomorrow. So I have a little bit of beach left in me, so I thought it would be fun to do a sweet summer color before we move into the dark fall shades, which I really love. Then I'm gonna top the manicure with the Nail Aid Vegan Pure Dry, Fast, and Shine top coat. Again, cruelty-free, 100% vegan, safe formula. This has grapeseed and safflower seed oils. It's supposed to dry multi-coats quickly, which is huge for an incredibly hard, shiny surface, and it says it's chip proof for up to 14 days. Now, that's a pretty big claim, but we'll give it a shot. I don't really need to talk about the polishes anymore. I just wanted to give you a quick overview before we got started. And now we're just gonna paint our nails. So again, this is not gonna be a tutorial video. This is just gonna be me hanging out with you while we paint. I'm gonna get all of the polishes out of the packaging so that we don't have to do it with the wet nails. And so that we're ready to go. You should be able to see well enough. I have my big water jug right here. I'm not doing too well. I'm about at 9 a.m. and it's currently 11, so. Got it to 10. This is like the best little thing. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend. That's better. We're closer to 11. I don't know why I delayed so long getting one. I honestly thought that the little motivational sayings were just kind of cheesy, so I was a little turned off to it, but I will tell you, it's the most brilliant bottle because you just fill it up once. I fill it up once in the morning, and I just know I have to drink it before I go to bed. And I feel like I'm getting enough water, more water than I usually would get, and it's so handy. I just carry it around. The one thing that I don't love about it is that in the car, there's nowhere to put it, so it's always like flopping around my seat and falling on the floor. I think I'm gonna get a little bag hook to put on my passenger seat or a little carabiner so I can hang it on something, but other than that, greatest little bottle. If you have trouble drinking water, I would definitely recommend it. I'll link it below. It comes in all these different patterns, ingredients. I like light pink because it's just kind of like the theme of my life here, but they have everything. I think I'm gonna get one for Dan because he's always drinking out of mine. I'm gonna go back real quick and just cap the edges with this base coat. I really want to protect those edges. They haven't been holding up well for me. I say this all the time, but when I do my nails, I always like to start with my dominant hand so that I can finish using my dominant hand, if that makes sense. So I start by painting with the hand that isn't as steady or precise, and then I end the manicure on a good note. And I always, always, always save my thumbs for last. Except for the base coat. I will put the base coat on to start. I've only used a Nail Aid polish maybe once or twice. I don't really remember how I felt about it, but I'm excited to give it another shot today, and I'm glad that I'm pairing it with 2 other Nail Aid products, specifically Vegan Pure. This is going to be a complete Vegan Pure manicure. I have to say I'm not a huge fan of these brushes. You guys know I love like short, wide brushes. As you can see, these are like long and skinny, so a little more challenging to work with, but not impossible. All right, let's shake this little blue up, roll it between your palms just to mix up the color. Again, this is called Beach Nap. I didn't even swatch it, so hopefully I like the color. I think I will. Ooh, great update. The brush for the color is a little bit wider, so that's great. It's gonna be a little bit easier to work with. My fingers aren't very steady today. I've been doing laundry and cleaning the house, so I find the days that I use my hands a lot, they're harder to paint. One coat is a little streaky, I'm gonna be honest. This is definitely gonna be a 2, maybe even a 3 coat polish. We'll see. Oof, no, I'm not loving how this is painting. Super, super streaky. I already feel like this is gonna be a 3 coat manicure, and I'm gonna have to wait pretty long between coats to make sure that it doesn't pull and streak more, because it seems like that's what it wants to do. This is also my bad hand, so I like to take that into consideration. Oof, I'll show you the hand when it's done. You know what, I think I'm actually gonna do my thumb today because these are gonna take a while to dry. Let me do this hand real quick and then I'll show you both of them. I have to say, I love this color. It reminds me a little bit of Olive and June's. Oh wow, this hand is painting way better. It reminds me a little bit of Olive and June's, what is that, like light icy blue. It's a little more blue and a little less white than that one, but I loved that color. It's definitely giving me some of those vibes. This is not my best work at all. I'm curious how many coats I'm gonna have to do. Not loving this formula right now. It's okay, we're gonna do our best. Wow, this is really not looking great. Let's see if you can tell up here. I mean, the color itself is beautiful, but do you see how streaky it is? This hand is definitely a little more streaky, but 2, maybe 3 coats of this will even it all out. It is a beautiful color. I mean, I'm loving how it looks. Aside from the streak factor, we're just gonna let it dry thoroughly before applying a second coat so that we don't smudge it or mess it up anymore. I wanted to quickly talk about nail shape and length because I put up a poll on my Instagram last week asking people if they preferred longer or shorter nails, and not necessarily on themselves, but just in general. Which look do you like more? And there was an overwhelming response of shorter nails. Most people preferred short nails. I really go back and forth. I love the feeling of long nails and I love how they look. I have shorter, kind of like knucklier fingers, and I feel like when I have longer almond nails, they just look a little more feminine, and I love that, but they can be challenging to take care of and do day-to-day tasks with. So I love when I get to cut them off and just live life with short nails. It makes everything so much easier. However, short nails don't hold up as well. It's a give and take there, but I am enjoying the short nails for now and looking forward to growing them a little more. But I think I'm gonna stick with shorter, squarish, squoval nails for a little while, maybe at least through the holidays. I just think they're cleaner, they're easier, and we're gonna do our best to make sure that they don't chip or peel. Hopefully these products can aid in that. Okay, this is not 100% dry, but it's lightly tacky, and that's okay. I think we can move forward. I'm gonna do my best to get a nice second coat on here so that we don't have to do 3, but you never know. Ooh. All right, second coat really did help a lot. Let's see if you can tell the difference between this one and this one. The pinky has the second coat. Do you see how clean and opaque that is? For this second coat, I am putting a little more color on the brush just so that we have more color applied to the nail and we can cover some of those streaks. With the first coat, you always want to be very, very conservative because you don't want it to be too gloopy. A thick and gloopy base coat is just gonna set you up for a really sloppy manicure. So you can always add more. It's much, much more challenging to take away. I'm gonna try to get away with 2 coats here, I think. The middle finger gave me a little bit of a challenge, but compared to this hand, you see how much better 2 coats looks. Oh my god, it's like night and day. The color pops so much more too. So we've got 1 coat up here and 2 coats down here. I love how my middle finger is crooked. It just like goes the other way. Let's do the thumb. The key is really to make sure you have the right amount of polish on the brush and that you're working fast enough. You really don't want to be too slow, because if you're too slow, that's when you get into a sloppy, gloopy mess, and it really doesn't matter what polish you're working with. Any brand, you'll find that. We're definitely gonna have to do a little cleanup, so I'm not gonna sweat it. We're just accepting it. Oh, 2 coats is perfect. I almost did a neon orange manicure. I don't know why. I was just kind of feeling it, but changed my mind last minute and decided to do this full vegan pure one. So far, I'm happy with my choice. Ugh, index looks a little streaky as well. Okay. 2 coats are on all of our nails. To be honest, I probably could go back in with a 3rd coat, but unless it's completely necessary, if you can stick to 2 coats of color, you're probably better off, because the more layers of polish, the more prone the manicure is to chip, not necessarily the nail chipping, but the manicure itself, so that color could flake off pretty easily. I think I'm gonna be okay with 2. I don't know. I want 3. I know 3 would just give me like a perfect manicure, but they're already pretty thick. I'm just gonna let these dry for a few minutes and then we will come back and do the top coat, unless I make a game time decision and opt to do a 3rd. So I'll be back in a few. Alright, I said I probably wasn't gonna do 3 coats, but I went ahead and did a 3rd coat of color. So I just did that off camera quickly, but you can see them now. They're very, very dry. I wanted to wait a good amount of time before putting this top coat on. So they feel pretty dry. Like if I touched it with a nail, I'm sure I could dent it, but to the touch, you're not gonna get any fingerprints. And I do think that 3 coats was necessary. I just pulled out my acetone and a cleanup brush because I think I need to do a little cleanup before we add this top coat, just because it got a little sloppy towards the end, but nothing a little cleanup brush can't fix. I never was a huge fan of cleanup brushes, but as you know, lately, I just have been converted. They really can take a good mani and make it great. I'm cleaning up with the Olive and June cleanup brush, which is for sure one of my favorites. It's just a great size. The bristles are the perfect length and width. They get right into that cuticle area so precisely, so clean. They just really make a huge difference. You really want to avoid flooding the nail bed at all costs, but if you do, cleanup brush will fix that so easily. Oh, I wish I showed you a before and after this. It's just perfect. While I was letting this manicure dry, I filmed a little book review for Instagram of I Found You by Lisa Jewell. I just finished reading it yesterday. It was so darn good. Very cool book. I would tell you to go watch my Insta stories, but by the time this is up, that'll be long gone. I'll give you a quick synopsis here. Basically, a woman finds a man sitting on the beach in the pouring rain, and he has no idea who he is or how he got there. No idea where he came from, just has absolutely no memory. So she takes him in, kind of against her better judgment, but wants to help him figure out who he is. And then at the same time, there is another storyline going on about this young woman who had been married for 3 weeks. She's newlywed, and her husband just went missing. So she reports it to the police, and they basically tell her that her husband doesn't exist. She's very confused and scared, and she's not even from the country, so she's kind of all by herself. She sets off on this mission to find him and find out who he is. While that's going on, there is one other flashback story that intertwines a family of 4 on a beach vacation. A lot of crazy stuff starts happening, and as you read, all of these stories begin to connect. Everything is intertwined, and you think you're starting to figure out what happened and who these people are, but they really keep you guessing. The plot is just edge of your seat kind of read. I couldn't put it down. I loved this book, and I truly think it's probably the best book I've read since reading Verity. Verity by Colleen Hoover was probably my favorite book of all time. Such an excellent, crazy read, but this one was just as good. Okay, our cleanup is done. There's a little smudge on the end of my middle finger, but I think the top coat will smooth that out. I'll show you what they look like all cleaned up. Oh, perfection, right? Like not a smudge of polish anywhere, no polish on the top of the fingers or the cuticles. They look so good. I'm really, really digging this color, and I can't wait to put the top coat on. So again, this is the Vegan Pure Dry Fast and Shine top coat. We are just going to put a generous amount of this on each finger, and I try not to let this get into the cuticle either, but sometimes you can't help it, and if that happens, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'd rather a clear top coat infiltrate the cuticle than color. Didn't do my best job there. It's very liquidy. I don't know how to explain it, but it's very, very liquidy. It's not thick. It's really not that shiny either. These base and top coat brushes are not my favorite. Really sloppy to work with. Sorry, nail aid, but I'm just not a fan. It's okay though, we're getting the job done. I think before I said that I don't feel the need to clean up after a top coat, but you know what? This one I think I'm gonna have to. One hand down. It does have a pretty decent shine to it. We'll see what it looks like when it's totally dry. I feel like a lot of times the initial shine can be deceptive because it's really just the polish still being wet that makes it look shiny. This is a very, very liquidy top coat. I know I just said that, but it's a bit challenging to work with. They're done. They look so good. They really, really do. I'm obsessed. I probably shouldn't have cleaned up this acetone just yet because I do want to do a little more with the brush. Most of them are okay, but a couple. Okay, that is it. This mani is complete. Let's see. Ooh, I am impressed with this top coat. It is pretty dry. Lightly tacky to the touch, but that shine, do you see that? way shinier than I was anticipating. Oh, that's gorgeous. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the blue is really fun. Kind of glad I went with this. Let me get a little bit of cuticle oil. This is actually one of my formulas. I've been using it like crazy. I'm gonna put a generous amount of this onto my nails and cuticles. Oh, I'm so happy. That is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you painted your nails with me. I love when you guys DM me to tell me that you're painting your nails or your toes and you're watching one of my mani or pedi with me's as you're doing it. I think that's awesome. I like to do that when I do my nails or toes as well. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And leave me a comment below letting me know if you've tried any of the Nail Aid products, especially, I mean, I know a lot of you have tried the Biotin Ultimate Strength, but specifically the vegan pure line. Really, really into clean makeup and clean products, trying to use more of them. If this ends up working well, this could be a new go-to for sure. But that's it, everyone. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next one.